Imagine a film with the black hero. A pilot who saves the day. Or at least he saves himself at the end of the day. And the person that we think is about to be saved falls to his death. The pilot flies off into the sunset, or as Matthew W. Huey suggests, magical Negroes are required to walk off into the sunset because the black and white characters have become so emotionally close that a continued friendship would unsettle the racial status quo. The term magical Negro refers to undereducated, impoverished black characters who, with their magical spiritual powers, transform the lives of uncultured white characters on screen. We see a black character escaping. He's not here for the benefit of the white characters. He's no super-duper magical Negro, as Spike Lee might say. He's free. Can we imagine such a film? From 1925? I wish it could be true, and in a way it is, but it's not that simple. What I have shown you up until this point happened. We're looking at a film in reverse, with all the footage of the actor, Spencer Bell, in Larry Simon's feature film, Wizard of Oz. Spencer Bell plays the Cowardly Lion. But overall, and despite the heroic ending I mentioned, this is not a positive representation of a black character on screen. So, why show it to you? Well, to consider moments like this one, where Scarecrow, played by Larry Simon, refers to Bell's character as dark meat. In Ugly Feelings, Sian Nye argues that racial stereotypes and cliches, cultural images that are perversely both dead and alive, can be critically countered not just by making the images more dead, say by attempting to stop their circulation, but also, though in more equivocal fashion, by reanimating them. So perhaps by showing Spencer Bell as the Cowardly Lion, we can reconsider his role in this film and the representation of an African-American actor on screen. Spencer Bell played opposite Larry Simon in several films and was one of the first African-American actors to get a film contract in Hollywood during the silent era. Alongside a screen acting career, Bell acted in vaudeville and minstrel shows. He was a comedic actor with over 70 film credits that spanned over a 15-year career. In this regard, Bell's career was a success. However, when you look at the roles he played, clerk, butler, janitor, dock worker, driver, porter, doorman, servant, chauffeur, the range of roles available to him were limited. His acting career was silenced, systematically and institutionally, through a lack of opportunity. We know that characters speak in silent cinema. We see their words appear through intertitle cards. We can see the words of the Scarecrow. Yet the Cowardly Lion never gets an intertitle card in this film. In Fred Moten's critique of Marxist economics, Moten argues the value of the commodity is tied precisely to the impossibility of its speaking. For if the commodity could speak, it would have intrinsic value, it would be infused with a certain spirit, a certain value given not from the outside. Moten outlines the intrinsic exchange value of enslaved peoples. The fact that the Cowardly Lion does not get to speak through intertitle card to the other characters and to us, the audience, is an indicator of how he is devalued within the film. We don't get to hear the Cowardly Lion's motivation, protest or fears. We see the wizard asking Bell's character to play along in his skin game. Like the Scarecrow's comments about dark meat, we can see how his skin colour is marked as different to their whiteness. Here, his skin colour has been equated with the animalistic and the jungle. In an article in Variety from April 1925, I learnt that the Cowardly Lion is not the name of the character that Spencer Bell plays in the film, but rather the character is called Rastus. This is not the first appearance of a character called Rastus in film, or fiction more generally. Rastus was a derogatory name used for some African American male characters since the 1880s. Across these fictional representations, Rastus was presented as a stereotypically happy character, often seen contentedly eating a watermelon. He was never presented as a fully fleshed out character. He appeared in books, songs and slapstick comedies. Rastus was played by different actors across these short films. He was closely associated with the caricature of the coon. The coon was another racist portrayal of African American men. Coons were represented as the buffoon, lazy, easily frightened and inarticulate. There were several short slapstick films made in the 1910s which used coon imagery, and it is clear to see how the caricature of the coon is playing out within this film. Rastus as the buffoon is also seen to be easily frightened, lazy and inarticulate. In this first feature-length version of The Wizard of Oz, the plot is very different to the original book. It is presented as a story being read out by a grandfather to his granddaughter. We see that all three farmhands adopt disguises as the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodsman and the Cowardly Lion. A young Oliver Hardy plays the Tin Woodsman, and we can see his physical comedy is impressive. There hasn't been much written about this film, but what has been written in academic texts tends to draw out Larry Simon and Oliver Hardy's performances. Spencer Bell doesn't get mentioned. However, at the time, Variety described Bell's performance as almost as funny as Simmons. I presume this was intended as high praise. Spencer Bell is an impressive physical actor with great comedic timing. And yet in group scenes, he almost fades into the background. He seems more like a minor character. When I was watching the film and selecting sequences with Bell in them, at times I struggled to find him. Other characters block him, stand in his way. He's obscured from our vision. Richard Dyer in his book White notes, the photographic media and, a fortiori, movie lighting assume, privilege and construct whiteness. The apparatus was developed with white people in mind, and habitual use and instruction continue in the same vein, so much so that photographing non-white people is typically construed as a problem. Spencer Bell has been shot in such a way that he disappears on screen, while the white characters are clearly visible. And I began to wonder, where is Spencer Bell? During a cyclone that brings the characters from Kansas to Oz, we see Bell as Rastus. He takes shelter in a barn, but can't escape the lightning. The lightning drives him into the air, propelling him. We see extensive footage of him trying to escape the strikes of lightning. The lightning hits his body, for which he runs away and leaps in the air. Bell's performance is impressive. The lightning hits him on the head to no avail. He doesn't look like he suffers. Is this yet another racist marker? Were the audience meant to believe that he had nothing in his head? Was this meant to be funny? Following the racist pseudoscience of phrenology, which emerged during the 19th century, measuring skull sizes to justify the existence of slavery and the need for enslaved peoples to have masters, it appears that this is what the film is drawing from. I first came across this film when I was doing research on the more famous Victor Fleming version of The Wizard of Oz. I was familiar with The Wiz, but I didn't know about this earlier feature film. I was shocked to see such a racist portrayal of an African-American character on screen, and wondered why this film has not been more broadly discussed in film studies. In the first shot of Spencer Bell in the film, we find out that the character has yet another name to add to the list of Cowardly Lion and Rastus. Here he is presented as Snowball, a farmhand, yet another racist depiction of enslaved people, seen eating the obligatory watermelon, and he doesn't even get to keep his name, as the actor is credited here as G. Howie Black. But Spencer Bell is the actor's real name, and he should be widely known.